Instagram. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are live. We're going to be talking with Naomi Salome today on how to book prices or how to increase prices and book more clients. I'm so sorry. I didn't get in bed until like 1 in the morning last night because I was shooting a wedding. So I don't have a lot of sleep in me. I do apologize for the brain fog, but this is a topic that I have heard in so many different ways, from so many different perspectives over the past 5 years since I've been in business. And it's something that seems like a phenomenon where you hear a photographer say to a photographer on the come up or in the basement days or just beginning, that photographer is like, well, how the hell do I make money doing this? And I've got a few weddings in my belt. How do I raise prices to start approaching the market value and all that? And the answers are inconsistent generally. And I haven't found the right answer. I feel like I'm finding the right answer for myself. And I'm also experiencing other people's right answers as they move forward in their entrepreneurial photography journey, their business, personal life. There's a lot of inconsistency. So today we're going to be talking with Naomi because she evidently has raised her prices, and that caused her to book more clients. So we're going to pick her brain to try to figure out how the heck she did it and how we can apply some of the techniques that she used to our own businesses and own lives. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I recently raised my prices. If you're following me on Instagram at Mark Me a Photo, then you probably know that I've been telling you guys all about this process. And in August, I raised my prices, and I was booking almost all my clients that I had consultations with, and to me that says, honestly, that my prices are a little bit too low. If I'm booking every single person that I'm meeting, then to me, that means that I can raise my prices, and I can go and figure out how to do the same thing at a next level. And I plan on doing that. And the only way for me personally to do that, I know, is for me to be brave and for me to not be afraid that I'm not going to book clients, and for me to let go of all that anxiety and that stress and fear and just do it. It's so far, I don't know what's going to happen. I've only had a couple consultations with these new prices, and I haven't booked them yet, but I'm excited to see what happens, and I expect good things to happen. And if it doesn't work, all I'm going to do is use the stories like we're going to hear today from Naomi, and I'm going to try to apply those to my life and my business and improve. That's what this is all about. There is no end all, know all. There's no one-stop shop to doing this. Every single photographer has their own way of doing their business, and there's not a step-by-step process per se. There are general things that I think can make photographers successful, but I think that in my experience, when I have taken what someone else has done and then applied my creative juices or my style or my twist to it, those are the times in my business and in my life that I have seen the biggest gains, that I've felt the most inspired, and that I have actually made the most money in my business, and aren't those three things what this is all about. Aren't we waking up every day and getting out of bed and going and shooting other people so we can earn more money, so we can create better art, so we can make a bigger impact on people, so we can make people feel better. I hope those are things that you're you're shooting for. If it's just money, if we're talking about just getting more money, I don't know. I can't help you, honestly. If that's what your motivation is to watch right now, um, I this is not going to help you. If you're just looking to make more money, I can't help you. There are probably some people out there who can help you make more money if that's what you're in this for, but um, that's not what me and my community help people with. We first and foremost, we want people to be doing good things in our industry and giving back. Um, we want to be inspiring people. We want to strategically use that inspiration to be able to impact more people over time and reach a wider audience. And then um, we help each other to earn more income. That's that's not number one though. It ends up being. It turns out that when you inspire more people, you can make more money. When you make people feel better about working with you, then you can make more money. And I guarantee you that when I bring Naomi up in a second, she's probably going to say something similar. I haven't talked to her yet about this. I have no clue what she's going to say. So, um, anyways, before I bring her up, do me a favor. And if you're watching this live, please go ahead and press the share button and share it to whatever social network that you have photographer friends on. And if you have someone very specific in mind that you're like, oh man, this person has been talking to me and we've been chatting about raising prices and booking more clients and how the heck you do this, go ahead and share that with them if you don't mind. And second thing I want you to do before I bring Naomi up, I want you to go over to the chat area if you're watching this on Crowdcast, or if you're watching this on Instagram, you can do it here too. But if you'll leave one question for Naomi or myself about raising prices and booking more clients, and that way we can chat about it a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bring Naomi up here, and we'll get this started. Again, if you're on Instagram, you can just go to my profile and click on the link, and you'll be able to see us all. Yo, what is up?
Hey,
How's it going, Naomi?
great. I was just hiking, so I've still got wet hair and all.
Cool. Yeah, I just woke up like an hour ago because I had a wedding
Yeah.
like 8 hours ago. So
Oh,
yeah.
great.
Where are you? What time is it where you are?
It's 10 minutes past 3 o'clock
Okay. And where are you in the world?
in Switzerland. I
Okay.
live in Switzerland. If that says something to you, it's not Sweden, it's Switzerland. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, start off telling us who you are, what your business is, and what it is that you do and you love to do.
Okay, so at the moment, I work as a wedding photographer. So that's like my main thing right now. And I do stills photography on film sets and like making of and stuff like that. And I work for companies on different projects. And I'm a full time student, so quite busy.
That's a lot of stuff
It is. I think when my studies are finished, it's going to be very cool.
for sure. I bet.
Yeah.
What right now in your life, which of those entities do you probably spend the most energy on?
I lately really started to focus because I had also my studies. I study multimedia production, and it's very wide. And I had the struggle that it was all too wide. So I really started to focus and telling myself, like what do you want in life, and what do you want to do later on. So I came to the point that photography really is my passion, and I try to do it like, yeah, everywhere, also on film sets. I work as a photographer and so on. So I really focused on that, and also on projects that make fun, and I can stand behind them. So that's quite cool.
Very cool. Very cool. So it almost seems like you're incorporating your love of photography into all the other areas of your life. Um, yeah, all that. I like that. It's
It's just, I think it's a common thing right now that you want to try out everything, you want to do everything. So if you want to get a focus somewhere, that's very upbringing in life, I think. So
hmm,
that's quite cool.
very cool. Well, let's start off by talking about your come up and how you got started, and then at what point did you decide you were gonna try to start a business?
So actually, I never intended to be a photographer. It kind of happened. So when I started with my very best friend, and she brought it to me, photography, and I always was shooting with her, and then I was shooting with friends, and then some people started asking me for photo shootings, and yeah, it just slightly slided into the business. So I never thought that I'm ever going to be a wedding photographer. It's not like it was never a dream of me or something, but I really enjoy it.
How long ago did you get started?
So I started photographing like 14 years ago, but in really like making money with it. Maybe it started like 8 or 9 years ago, but in a very small, yeah, just a few offers to do. So.
Yeah, yeah. Good. So you've been around and seen the big shifts in our industry over the past decade and all that. Can you talk about some of the big changes you've seen?
So when I started, I had a huge community I was in, and it was called For the Community actually,
Mhm.
and I really enjoyed the support I got there. And you got like your small group of people, and you supported each other so much, and set some critics, but in a very positive way. And I think I learned a lot by then. And nowadays, it's very hard to find such a community. And it's so important because, as you know too, um, as an artist, you kind of lose the look on your. I don't know, it's sometimes you just think like they're all shits and ugly and you don't like them anymore. And it's so good to have someone telling you, like, yeah, it's very cool, keep on track, keep staying on track and stuff. And
Mhm.
try that or try this. So I
So
really miss that because I think that changed.
yeah, so what you're saying, um, or what I'm hearing is that you feel like the community aspect of our industry has started, or you felt like it's kind of diminished in a sense.
Yes. So that's like the part as a photographer. If you're asking for the part of clients,
Mm,
I think that it's a more natural look is demanded than like 10 years ago.
mm.
So I think that changed a little bit too, and I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what you're
So
saying,
you're saying
um, that's all good. So what you're saying is, you feel like you've noticed a change in what our audience and our market wants.
maybe it's also the age. I was quite young when I started. So, but I really think uh, we are looking for more authentic pictures and more, yeah, more natural,
Mm,
normal, easy.
yeah. No, I think that in my experience over the past 5 years of being in business, um I've been nervous by that change, and it's been weird because you've seen a whole market completely change what they want, and then you have a whole industry that freaked out because of it. It was just so many different things that happened. You know, the preset boom, and workshop boom, and you know, it was like droves of new photographers were coming in to our industry, especially, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, still now, but you know, um, because it's seemingly easy to enter our industry, but once they get in, folks don't realize these other things, these marketing things, these um, uh, all the business side, you know, pricing, client experience, you know, just emailing people, you know, that is not something that we think about. Do you have a business background, or is that something that you've had to learn along the way?
Before I studied multimedia production, I studied tourism for 2 years. It's very much into economy. And so I got more like the financial background, and we had some corporate writing styles. But I don't know. It's not that I think that I really, besides the financing, that's really something I learned, to have your bookings like the right way in your own office. But I think no. I think it's something I really do intentionally, like by my feelings and how because it always depends on the customer. It's something very individual. So I don't think so. it, but it takes time to find your way, how to want to express yourself, and yeah, it's just something. It's a process, I guess. So,
Sure.
sure.
Sure. Well, so I asked on Facebook a couple weeks ago, I think, and what I said on Facebook is, um, I said something along the lines like, "Hey, photographers, could you share your DIY marketing hacks or something like that?" And that's all I said. It was a really general, vague statement. And you said, I think you responded to it and said, um, raising my prices was my best marketing hack. And I don't remember what my response was, but I was like, I was kind of like, what? I was like, what the, how is that a marketing hack? You know? Um, say that again.
I just thought it wouldn't make any sense, and when I changed my prices, I was like, okay, I will never be booked again. I'm way too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But that was not the point. It was totally the opposite, actually.
Can you tell us about that process for you a little bit? And I really, what I really want you to do is give us all the juicy details. So, you know, the point where you were like, you know, your lowest price point, and then the evolution of how you raised it, why you raised it, things like that.
So I had other photographers telling me very often that I'm too cheap, and of course that's a point that is not good for the market. But I had one couple that actually booked me for their wedding, but they told me that they were very they hesitated a lot because I was so cheap. And they were like, "Yeah, is she able to do that?" And then they saw that I'm still studying, and they were like, "Ah, okay, we give it a try. She's a student, so that's why." And when they told me, it really like opened my eyes. Like, okay, that being having a low price is not only like, oh look, she's having a low fair price, we're booking her. It's more like, why is she in such a light, such a why does she have such a low price? It's really, it seems cheap to them. So I
And
was just aware. Sorry.
they said your prices.
Yeah, they hesitated booking me. They told me that.
Wow.
So it was quite good that they told me, but they really opened my eyes on, yes, seeing what a price can say about you. And what I did next was like really taking the time and analyzing the market in my area, because it really depends on where you live. And I looked what other photographers asked, how much money they asked for, and I still thought that some of them were so expensive, and I would, it's like sometimes they ask for a loan of a loan of money, you know. And for me, it's like, whoa, that's incredible. I can't ask for that. So I really found my way between the price I had and the average prices in my area. And one more point, and I think that's the most important point, is being confident with it. So because in our business, in our business field, it's very common that people like to dump your prices. And it's nothing to be mad on. It just happens. It's okay. But then you need to really stand behind your price and to really be able to explain why you ask for so much money. And that only works if you're confident. So I think this really goes hand in hand, like price raising and confidence. That's yeah.
How do you gain confidence to be able to raise your prices?
Oh, that's a process, especially for, I don't know, people like me who are very critical on their staff. But you just, I mean, I started working a lot for free at the beginning, and then I started to ask for money, and I was a very long time. It was on the same money amount, the same amount of money that I asked for. Um, and I think it's experience, and just realizing how you behave on weddings. I mean, I'm very calm on weddings. I know what happens. I know how to calm the bride. I know how to, it's really yeah, it's experience.
Hmm.
I think that's yeah, and just being really aware of what you, yeah, it's a success kind of that people are booking you. I mean, that's incredible. They're coming to me and they want me to photograph their wedding. At the beginning, it's so exciting, and with the time, you're like, okay, it's going to be a business, so I have to think about how I deal with it.
How do you get them to come to you to potentially book you? Like, what are your tactics?
Actually, I think that's my worst point, because the things I get is from someone who has a friend who saw me on a wedding, or I photographed their wedding. It's really just like the how is that called? This mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth.
So yeah, that's. I just yesterday I received a request on Instagram for a wedding, so it's the first time that this ever happened.
So
Yeah.
most of the weddings are word of mouth. Do you think that all photographers um, should approach booking clients in that way, or do you think there are other ways for other photographers in other businesses to book as many clients as you?
I think I'm still sure that it really needs time to get into the business field, um, and I think it's the best way that someone is recommending you. That's a very it's kind of an honor. It feels like, um, but of course you shouldn't use social media and use a web. And you need a website, of course, for the portfolio. And maybe there is another way. I just didn't get it. Yeah.
Do you think, or do you feel like because you get so many word of mouth recommendations, do you feel like that's one way that you have the confidence to be able to raise your prices and ask for more money?
I think no, actually not. I think that was never the intention. My intention was also that the kind of clients you want, I think that's also something that goes with the price. So if you are very cheap, you might also get customers, yeah, who are not so much into decoration stuff, but just want a quick and dirty wedding. So
How do you make sure that you attract that specific client?
I think by posting the pictures you post, of course. I stopped sharing, for example, I stopped sharing family shootings because I'm really not into that, but I can do it because on one hand I also need to earn money. So, but I don't really share it because it's nothing that I want to do in future. So it
But
really
you
depends on what is there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing, I guess. When the beginning of this year, when I got really, really serious about my wedding work, I decided to do similar stuff where, I'm switching between my post about me and my life and my story with my wedding stuff um, and yeah, along the same lines, that's just a long game kind of tactic that I have, I think will work when people see you doing more of something. Um, they are more likely to recommend or reach out to you when they have a problem. And in the wedding photography industry, the problem is, they want someone to capture their day. And so we solve that problem there. And so if I'm not showing that I'm doing that consistently, then why would somebody trust me? All right.
I actually just splitted my Instagram accounts. So first I had all together, and then now I just split it into wedding and stills photography, and I'm just yeah figuring out what works best. I will see.
Cool. So talk to us about your most recent price increase and um, where you were before you increased it, and then what you increased it to, and then how it affected your bookings.
So I like the I raised prices about a year ago, and I raised it by about 700 Swiss francs.
Okay.
I don't know what currency you have. So you have dollars, right? So
Yeah.
it's about the same, I guess.
I'm gonna Google it.
You're looking it up. I think it's about the same. I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, it's like 1 to 1.1.
Yeah, so it's really about $700, and I think that's a huge step. I mean, it's not like about a few hundreds. It's really like 700. So like in your face, and since then I really like doubled my bookings. So when I compare to last year, I guess I had like 7 weddings last year, and this year I had 13 so far, and for now 2 more coming up this year or this season. So I really doubled my bookings, and I guess it also is because of the experience. And the longer you're in the business, normally you'll get more clients because they know you, or yeah, some friends know you. But yeah, it's really the thing that I stand behind my business and I cost something. And what I said about confidence, what is also very important is that I forgot it. Wait a second. I was just so sure about it. Um, when you go with confidence, the price, I just lost it. I just lost track.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back later on. Yeah.
So so then was it really in reality, was it really raising your prices was the reason that you booked more, or did you see an opportunity to raise your prices and book more because of something else you were doing?
Um, I think it was just more focusing more on that, and know that it will take more time to spend on social media for it, more time to really analyze like what is demanded on the market, what packages do you offer, because it all takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Got it.
And I got it back about confidence. So confidence means to me that when you have your price, you kind of don't let anyone dump you. And I know in the beginning I was like, oh, it's too expensive, so okay, I make it a little cheaper, like yeah, you just lowered your price. And what I can do now is just say like, oh, you don't want to book me for that price? It's no problem. Go find somebody else. If you can find somebody, then come back to me. But you're just not going with that dealing stuff anymore, and that's also something that brings that comes along with confidence,
Hmm.
I think.
I've heard a lot of stories about photographers not booking when they raise their prices. You know, their first consultation, they don't book, and they're so discouraged. They're just like, oh God, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Um, now I need to lower my prices again, and then they do it, and then they go through this cycle there. And do you believe that's just one of the reasons why is because of confidence?
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think photography and the market is not something that is like fixed. So it's something that can change again. So I also lowered my prices once, not in weddings, but in portrait shootings, because I was just like, nobody is booking it for the price. So I have to not only change the price, but the whole package to look what they want, what is demanded, and what they're open to pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So
I I did that with my high end package when I talked about this last month, but when I raised my prices, I really only raised the price of my package that I want people to buy more of, you know, and I made it more juicy and look and felt good. And the one above that, I actually lowered it $300. Um, and what I was trying to do is I'm trying to point to the package that I want them to buy from either side. You know, I'm trying to make the middle one more sexy. And uh, so in actuality, I really lowered my prices on one, you know, in one sense, and then raised them in or raised another package in another sense. Have you ever tried anything like that in your pricing?
no, actually not. I think it's not the same thing I tried. It's just like the figuring out what works the most for the clients, what works the most for yourself, and then really you try. I also have like the one package that's like the best or seems like the best for the clients. That's the one I enjoy the most because I'm not a huge fan of the 12-hour to 14-hour weddings. So I really it's quite expensive, and I try to to lower the other ones a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's really something I should look into.
I didn't, you know, I don't know where I got that idea from. I was just like, honestly, was just like, I just want to see if this will work because no one was booking my luxury package, you know, my high end one, um, and people were paying too much attention to my lower end one. So I was like, this isn't the way I want it to happen, and I feel like I can leverage more money for very similar reasons that you were talking about. You know, my experience had gone up. I had a lot more good reviews. I had way more confidence, um, and so those three things really helped me and drove me and gave me inspiration to, you know, not have fear of raising or even lowering my prices. Just like you were talking about, it's an experiment, it's a journey, it's a playing around and testing the market. There is no there there is no way to actually just raise prices and book more clients, you know, and so it doesn't work that way. It involves a lot of the other entities of business and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'd say the same.
Um, can you share with us your thoughts on you know, you're someone who has been in our industry, been a professional industry for almost a decade now. You've seen a lot of changes. You're obviously successful, and you have enough confidence to do this and are killing it. How do you see our industry changing in the next 5 to 10 years regarding, you know, style, pricing, all these things we're talking about?
That's very hard to say. I think we what I am a bit afraid of, look, afraid is the wrong word, but I think that actually customers who are not into the business, they don't see differences between qualities.
Mm.
And nowadays you can do great pictures with an iPhone, and everyone got their good cameras. And I don't know where this is going, and if people are still ready to pay so much money for having a full day coverage, for example, if this is still needed next to the good phones and cameras. So I don't know where the worth of us photographers will be.
Mm.
But as I said at the beginning, I really slided into this field, and I really enjoyed working that way. But I think we need to be very open also in the future about our jobs. So yeah, it's not sure because it's kind of a luxury good. Like if there's money around, you can spend it on a photographer. If there's no money around, it's not something that is necessary. So it really depends on the market, on the clients, on everyone. So
That's such an interesting thing to say because it's pretty blunt and straightforward and aware. It points out your awareness of the fact that we have we've entered into this new time where everyone holds the high quality tools that photographers have, you know, um, said are special to us, for so very long. Um, and now in in my mind, the shift is the conversation becomes yes, it's not about who has the best camera anymore or the best preset um, or money to do ads. It's about like the person who can put the camera down and be themselves in front of people and communicate their passion and their vision until you make people feel good, and that's
yeah, that's. I think it's also something on weddings that people really enjoy. They're telling me like they enjoy me being so quiet, so calm, and not disturbing, not in the just like I'm always like the ghost on weddings. So I think that's something people really enjoy. So
yeah, definitely. It's almost becoming, at least with my clients, it's becoming the most important thing, because um, they can find any photographer nowadays that has just as good as photos that I have or you have or anybody else has. Like being a good photographer is not special anymore. It's like I feel like it kind of used to be uh, before we all figured this out, and now it's like photographers. It seems to me like we're like, okay, we all know how to take good photos. We've Googled it and we practiced it. Check, or you may be the person that went to the $500 workshop or bought the $1,000 course. I don't know, and maybe you learned it there. But either way, after those educational experiences, after learning, there's still this other thing of being a photographer, not um, shooting, but being a photographer, being a business owner, and I think that might be the next revolution in education and then also involving other people and not um, not surrounding ourselves with one or two or three gurus, but like you were saying, being a part of a real community that has mutual concern for each other and a community that is willing to share all the details like you've done with us today. And um, those are the things that changes industries. That's the stuff that creates movements, that pioneers new waves of doing things. I really, really just want to acknowledge and appreciate you for publicly and openly sharing that, on Facebook, because that's not something that a lot of people are willing to do. We're used to people. What's that?
Thanks for inviting me. That's totally cool.
Yeah, this has been awesome, and I'm really thankful that you got to do this, and I hope um, all the photographers out there that are watching, I hope this was valuable. I know that Naomi would love for you to reach out to her and find her on Instagram. If you click on the info of this event on Crowdcast, you can actually find a link to her website. I've got in there. You can say hello to her there, um, and just reach out to her and ask her some more. I'm sure that she would love to chat with you. And I haven't asked her about that, but I'm assuming because she's awesome. And um, and so if after watching this, y'all, if you feel like, again, there's somebody out there that would benefit from hearing this, someone who is struggling with confidence, struggling with fear, maybe somebody who recently raised their prices and is discouraged about not booking because of it, share this with them, and hopefully this can encourage and inspire them to keep going and keep experimenting and learning more about their business and the market and their auto client, which to me, correct me if I'm wrong, Naomi, but it sounds like those are the things that you're actually accrediting booking more clients to. It's not really the raising of the prices. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It goes hand in hand with confidence.
Cool. Well, Naomi, thank you so much for this. It's been amazing. Thank you all so much for watching. If you are down, I've got a little button at the bottom of the screen on Crowdcast. You can go check out Creative Commonwealth, my community for photographers. Would love to have any of you join us. And please, if you would like to, I don't know how to do this on Crowdcast, but if you subscribe to me on Crowdcast, you'll actually get a notification every time I go live. And that way you can join in conversations and join in our community and just learn more and grow. So thank you, Naomi. Thank you all so much for joining us, and have a wonderful day. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to say before we go off camera?
Oh, um, just listen to yourself and not always to the others. That's very important too.
Perfect.
That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.